Today we will be installing the primitive racing lift. So these are spacers that go on top of the shocks. So inch and a quarter in the rear, and then 1 inch in the front. Just get one out here. The front ones, all new hardware to go with them too. And the reason for the different sizing is because with the Bilstein shocks ride a bit higher in the front, so this way it'll give it like a completely flat look front and rear. And then the wheel spacers to bring the wheels out, because I do have my other wheels are at Costco right now getting the tires put on, so I got wider and taller tires to fill out the wheel wells and a bit softer on the gravel roads. But I apologize if this video won't be too detailed, pretty time sensitive today, so I'll just record everything and I'll do some commentary later. Okay, just about ready to take out the first rear shock. There's a big 19mm bolt on the bottom. It's kind of dark if you can see, but I just got the nut off. There you go. And the bolt's still inside. You just have to hold up the whole knuckle assembly with a jack, so then you can jack up a little bit to get some pressure off the bolt so you can pull it out. Then you got to pull out all the stuff at the back to get the top 2 bolts of the strut mount, which are right here. Not that hard to get to. 2 14mm bolts. But let's pull it out and start putting this spacer on it. Alright, so I ended up using the spring compressors to compress the spring a little bit to get the top hat off. I got one stud out. I used I just put a socket over it, just to line up, and then a punch, hit it out. But the stud was hitting the insulator, so I couldn't get it out. So it's easier just to have this off, and then I'll put the spacer on it. And here it is installed. Pretty simple. 1 1/4 inch, like I said. So you just gotta, the spacer has nuts in it, and you just gotta put them facing up and just bolt the new studs in, which are actually bolts, which is neat. So yeah, not much to it. Let's get it all installed and do the other side and see how it looks. Alright guys, I finally got the lower bolt in. The exposure will go out. It was a pain because now the shock is like 1.5 inches longer. So I had to jack up the shock itself, as you can see. Let's try to get a better look. Jack it up. But it kept moving, it wasn't going in straight, so I actually had to chock the jack's wheels with some screwdrivers. You can see right there, yeah. So, yeah, that's a tip you can use. But yeah, I'll get this buttoned up now and see how she looks. Got the spacer bolted on now, so everything's bolted in, and we will put the wheel on with the new tires and hopefully everything fits. The old tires. Did he get out?
No, he just jumped and choked himself.
Oh. Alright guys, now we're working on the front. There's a 12mm bolt here you gotta take off for the ABS wheel speed sensor. And another 12mm bolt on this side for the brake line. And then you got these 2 19mm bolts to hold the strut tower, or the strut body, onto the steering knuckle. And then you got your 3 12mm bolts up top that hold the strut mount to the body. So I know this is gonna fall forward when I take everything off, so I just make sure I have some bungee cords on hand and a jack stand, because you don't want your axle to pull out of the transmission are for your CV to like separate here at the joint. So I'll pull this out and then we'll put the front lift spacer on it. Alright, got the first front shock out. One thing that's nice, looks like I have enough room just to knock these studs out without having to compress the spring. And like I said, I got bungee cords holding everything so the axle doesn't pull out. So once again, it was easier just to use the spring compressor on it, and then to get the studs out, because the front strut mount has a lot of play, like just from the bushing in it. It bounces up and down when you hit the studs, so I just put a socket underneath it and they pop right out. Alright guys, one thing I guess it's a little different for the Legacy top hats, because I have Spec B suspension. The Spec B top hats are a little different, they're a little wider, so I just had to take off a bit of material around here and some on the inside of the spacer. So almost goes on, just a little bit more massaging. So I think if you are ordering primitive racing spacers, maybe ask them if they could just machine a couple mils out of the opening, and then it'll fit perfect on the Spec B top hats. For the front, the rear went in with no issues. Alright, so now that I got the shape that I needed for how much material off, see the difference here. I ended up bolting both spacers together. I'm just going to use a pick tool here to just scribe the inside of this, and that will give me a mark of where I need to go on the other one. Alright guys, got the first front one all bolted in. You can see the space here now. That's the spacer, and the new it also comes with new nuts as well for the top hat. Got the wheel spacer on too now. This one wasn't that difficult, as the rear, everything kind of went into place. I just put a screwdriver through here to line it up. But so far the front is half done, and it's looking a lot easier than the rear. Here it is all done. There's a little bit of rubbing in the front. You can see with the spacers stick out a little bit. Hard to see, but just a little bit deep in there. It rubs at full lock. And then a little bit on the rally armor here. But there is a spacer in there, so I'll take that out. Overall, it looks pretty good. Pretty happy with it. Now when the front fenders are on the whole front end, I'll be able to fix that rubbing issue and go for alignment, and then she'll be done. So that was Primitive Racing lift spacers, 1 inch in the front and 1.5 inches in the back.